Hello everyone. So today in this video we are going to see how to create a middleware using Nestjs. So before that we need to understand what is middleware. So earlier we have seen we directly send a request from client to server without any middleware. So what is work of middleware here is to manipulate request and response and then pass it to a controller so that your request will be handled properly, and then you can see the response coming is from server. So that is only use of this middleware to pass the request to controller. So let's see in action. So you can see here, this is the basic structure of project using Nest. I have created this by command line. So let's create one file for middleware called as test.middleware.ts. So what we need to do here, we need to implement one class and then we have to use annotation injectable so that we can use that class in main app module, and then we can use that as a middleware. So let's create by using injectable annotation. We can export this class as test middleware. We need to implement here nest middleware. So for that we need to implement use method for this. This is the function uses request response and next is a handler which will pass your request to next controller. So here you can manipulate your request response and then you can pass request to your controller. So what we can do here, we can print console to see if it is working or not. So that's it for now. This middleware is created. Now we can import this in our app.module. So here what we need to do, here we need to implement nest module. So we can configure this middleware. So we can see once we implement nest module, this configure method is we need to implement in this class. So for that we are configuring this middleware here. So for that what we need to use consumer.apply which middleware which we created, test middleware we can use here, and for which routes, for particular controller or all routes we can specify it here. We can also exclude some of the routes which is not required for, or for which middleware is not required. So we can exclude and include all the routes. So here I'll provide star so that it will be applicable for all the controllers which we have in this project. So currently we have this app controller and then login controller. So it will be applicable for both these controllers. So whenever I pass request from postman or browser, then it will come first here and then it will get passed to next controller. For that we need to use this method next. If you don't call this, then your request will get hangs and you will not get any response from this server. So that's why we need to call this next method, and then it will pass to controller and controller will return response. So we'll save all these files and let's run this project. Till time, you can see if you have any doubts, queries, you can ask in the comments. We can again go through. You can see here earlier it was only app module. We implemented this nest module and then configure this middleware for all the routes. So whenever I hit login controller method, then what will happen, I should get logged in, and in this console this should print, this logger message should print. So let's go to Postman. So here you can see I have added this URL. So let's hit this. So you can see I'm getting logged in from login controller, and here you can see logger, which is print. So this middleware is working here. So what we can do here, so here we can print request headers. So whatever value we are passing through Postman or any request, header values we can check here, and then we can decide to pass this control to controller or return from here itself, like interface. But there is a difference between interface and middleware that we can see in next video. So let's save this and rerun this program and project again. So here what we can do next is response. We can send something to front end or client, not valid. Request. In that case we need to comment this. So now it is running. Let's check what is printing in request header. So here you can see I have some data test. It should get printed in console when I hit this send button. So once I hit this button, I can see responses coming from controller. Let's see in server console if it is coming or not. So you can see in middleware it is captured request headers. Whatever value we are passing, these are the by default values, and what we are passing we can check it here. In case if it is not coming, then we can send response to client from here itself, and our controller and all these checks will be done here. So we need not to pass our next function, or we need not to call next function here. Let's test this also. We can add condition here, and then also we can send response to client, but we can directly test this if it is sending or not. So it is running now. So you can see I am getting logged in from controller, but now if I hit, then I should get your request is not valid. So this is coming from middleware. So this is how middleware works in Nestjs. It is very easy to use, and this middleware we can apply for multiple controller, single controller, or you can have multiple middlewares separated by comma, and then you can use it for your controller. So all these details are available on Nestjs site. So you can see I have given all the details in description below. You can see the link. You can go to that link and check all possible scenarios there. So in next video we'll see interceptors. So till time, take care. Bye bye. See you in next video.